Dreamscape presents American Fire, Love, Arson, and Life in a Vanishing Land by Monica Hesse. Narrated by Tanya Eby. For firefighters and lovers everywhere, but especially the ones in Tasley. Preface. I first drove down to Accomack County, Virginia, on Halloween weekend of 2013. There had been a bunch of fires there. 2 people had been arrested for setting them, and one of those people was now scheduled to submit his plea. At the time, I was in the cruddiest place a journalist can be, between stories and out of ideas, and I'd asked my editor to send me to Accomack, mostly because I was looking for an assignment that would get me out of the office for a day. Inside the courthouse, a red brick building that looked like a movie set courthouse on a movie set town square, the defendant in question admitted he was guilty, but he didn't say why he'd done it. I spent the next 2 years trying to understand why he did it. The answer, inasmuch as there is an answer for these things, involved hope, poverty, pride, Walmart, erectile dysfunction, steakums, the chopped meat sold in the frozen foods aisle, intrigue, and America. America, the way it's disappointing sometimes, the way it's never what it used to be. But it also involved love. The kind of love that is vaguely crazy, and then completely crazy, and then collapses in on itself in a way that leaves the participants bewildered and telling very different stories about what actually happened. In this instance, the stories shared only one essential truth. When this string of fires began, the defendants were in love. By the time they finished, they weren't. Chapter 1. Charge That Line. It was cold and dry, and Deborah Clark found herself wondering, briefly, whether the dryness was important. Fire had to come from somewhere, and if the dry ground had caused an electrostatic spark, then that would explain why, less than 100 yards from her back steps, there were giant orange flames licking the night sky. A friend had seen them first. He'd pulled out of Deborah's dirt drive after dinner, and then frantically banged on her door a few minutes later, yelling, "Hey, the house across the field is on fire!" The field was small and rough, and it had corn, sometimes, with stalks that shook like paper. But it didn't have corn this time of year. On the night of November 12, 2012, it had nothing but brown grass, the burning house, and the flames rolling in Clark's direction. Clark's niece lived next door, in a place that looked the same as Clark's and most of the other homes on that stretch of Virginia Road.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?